Hey guys, so today we're learning our second method of solving systems of equations, substitution. So we're going to learn substitution and we're going to look at a few word problems today. So 4-2, solving systems of equation by substitution. So here's our first example. Y equals 6x plus 7, 3x minus 8y equals 4. Okay, so to solve, our first step, notice our first equation is already solved for y. Okay, y equals 6x plus 7. So we're going to take the 6x plus 7 and stuff it in for y in the second equation. Okay, we're substituting it. I sometimes think of this as playing cheerleader. I say y, you say 6x plus 7. Okay, like you say blue, I say gold. Blue, gold, blue, gold, you know? Okay, so y equals 6x plus 7. So anywhere I see a y, I'm plugging in 6x plus 7. So our first equation goes into the second equation. Excuse me. So our second equation becomes 3x minus 8, but instead of writing y, I'm going to plug in 6x plus 7. And then finish the equation equals 4. Okay, so I plugged it in. So now we need to solve for x. Okay, we've done a million equations like this. We start by distributing. So 3x minus 48x minus 56 is equal to 4. Okay, we're going to combine our like terms. 3 minus 48 is a negative 45x. And we need to add 56 to both sides. Negative 45x equals 60. Divide by that negative 45. X equals negative 4 over 3. I'm going to highly recommend that you leave these as fractions. Turning them into decimals, you're not going to get a nice, pretty answer. Okay? So now we're going to take this answer and stuff it back into one of the original equations to help us solve for y. So if I look up here, notice the first equation is already y equals. So all I have to do is plug in that negative 4/3, and boom, I know what y is. Okay, so y equals 6x plus 7. But instead of writing x, I'm going to write this negative 4/3. So y equals 6 times negative 4/3 plus 7. Multiply. So that gives me negative 8 plus 7. So y equals negative 1. Okay. They say step 4 to check it by plugging both of them in. Okay, what I say step 4 is you need to write your answer as an ordered pair. Okay, because remember when we're graphing, we find the point of intersection. This is the same thing. It's our point of intersection. So our x value is negative 4/3, comma, negative 1. That is your final answer. Okay, your turn. Please pause the video, try letter A. Okay, so A is x equals, so I'm taking this stuff and stuffing it in for x. Okay, so instead of writing x, I'm going to write y plus 6 plus y equals 10. Okay, no distributing needed, so I just combine my like terms. 2y plus 6 equals 10. Okay, to get y alone, we're going to subtract 6. 2y equals 4. Divide by 2. Y equals 2. Now I got to solve for x. So I'm just going to take my y equals 2, stuff it right back into the first equation. X equals y plus 6. X equals 2 plus 6. X equals 8. Final answer, ordered pair, 8, 2. Okay, pause the video and try letter B, please. Okay, letter B, we're back to y equals stuff. So I'm going to take this and plug it into y. So we get 2x plus 3, but instead of writing y, I'm writing 2x minus 1 equals negative 7. First thing we need to do is distribute. So 2x plus 6x minus 3 is equal to negative 7. Combine our like terms. 8x minus 3 equals negative 7. Add 3 to both sides. 8x equals negative 4. Finally, we divide by 8. X equals negative 1/2. Okay, not done though, because now I need to solve for y. So I know that y equals 2x minus 1. Let's plug in negative 1/2. So y equals 2 times negative 1/2 minus 1. So y equals negative 1 minus 1, which equals negative 2. Final answer, negative 1/2, negative 2. Okay, much easier than graphing because we are knowing exactly 1/2 and not just guessing. Right, so this method says let's compare graphing and substitution. So Vacation Resort offers surfing lessons and parasailing. If the person takes a surfing lesson and goes parasailing, she will pay a total of $175. On Friday, the resort collects a total of $3,101 for activities. How much does each activity cost? Okay, well, we also need to look at the picture. Notice 16 people go parasailing and 20 people take surfing lessons. Okay, so the first thing when we're working with word problems is we need to define our variables. So let's let X be the price of a surfing lesson and let Y be the price of parasailing. Okay, so the first thing I know, okay, we do one surfing and parasailing is 75. Surfing is X, parasailing is Y, so X plus Y equals 175. Okay, then we know that we collect a total of 3,101, so that's why this equation equals that. Okay, so X was surfing, so I know 20 people did that, so 20X. 16 people did parasailing, so 16Y. Okay, so the first method is to solve this by graphing. Do you want to graph this? I personally do not. 175 is huge. 3,101 is even bigger. Okay, not fun. So this is much better to use with substitution. Okay, so I have, let me write it again. X plus Y equals 175, and 20X plus 16Y equals 3101. Okay, I need to make this so I either have X equals or Y equals. Okay, notice the top equation, we have coefficients of 1. Much, much easier to get either X or Y by itself. Okay, your choice, you can make it either X equals or Y equals. Okay, I'm going to do Y equals because I think we're very used to that. So to do that, I just need to get X to the other side. So Y equals 175 minus X. Okay, that's what this equation becomes. Now that I have this equation, I'm very easily able to do substitution. Okay, so we're going to take this 20X plus 16Y, but instead of writing Y, I'm going to plug in 175 minus X, and that is equal to 3101. Okay, so let's solve for X. First thing we do is distribute. So 20X plus, give me a second to do that on my calculator. 16 times 175 is 2,800. Minus 16X is equal to 3101. Okay, let's combine our like terms. 20 minus 16 is 4X. Okay, we need to subtract the 2,800. So 4X is equal to 10301. Okay, divide by 4. We get X equals 75.25. Okay, so it costs $75.25 to go surfing. Okay, however, we're not done. We need to solve Y now. Okay, going back up here, I know that Y equals 175 minus X. So I can just plug in what my X is. So Y equals 175 minus 75.25. And 175 minus 75.25 is equal to 99.75. So it costs $75.25 for surfing and $99.75 for parasailing. Okay, here's a word problem for you to try. Please pause the video and try this. Okay, so on Saturday, the Vacation Resort offers a discount to take a surfing lesson and go parasailing costs $130. That day, 25 people take surfing lessons and 30 people go parasailing. Total of $3,650 is collected. What is the discounted price of each activity? Okay, first thing I'm going to do is define my variables. Let's let X be surfing and Y be parasailing. Okay, now that I know that, I can write my equations. So the first sentence tells us to take a surfing lesson and go parasailing costs $130. Okay, well, what's surfing? Surfing is X. And, so plus, parasailing, well, that's Y, costs $130. Okay, my second equation, 25 people take surfing. So that's 25X. 30 people goes parasailing, 30Y. How much did we make? A total, so equals 3650. Okay, so from here, I can do some substitution. But first, I need to get a variable by itself. So again, up here, I'm just going to go minus x. So this gives me y equals 130 minus x. From here, now I can do substitution. Okay, so that's what y is, so we're stuffing it into y. So 25x plus 30y, but instead of writing y, I'm going to write 130 minus x is equal to 3650. Okay, to solve, let's go ahead and distribute. 25x plus 30 times 130 gives me 3900 minus 30x is equal to 3650. Okay, combine our like terms. 25x minus 30x is a negative 5x. Okay, so to get x by itself, we need to subtract 3900. So negative 5x is equal to negative 250. Okay, let's divide. X equals 50. So in this problem, surfing costs $50. Okay, let's finish the problem now. I know y equals 130 minus x. Let's plug in our x. Y equals 130 minus 50. So y is equal to 80. So it costs $50 to go surfing, $80 for parasailing. Okay, next one. Let's look at our next example. Y equals 3x plus 1. 6x minus 2y equals negative 2. Okay, substitution. I know y equals stuff, so I can plug that in for y. So 6x minus 2, but instead of writing y, I'm going to write 3x plus 1 equals negative 2. Okay, need to distribute. 6x minus 2 equals negative 2. Let's combine our like terms. 6x minus 6x, oh, those just cancel. So I get negative 2 equals negative 2. Huh, well, what does that mean? Well, if you think back to solving regular equations, this is a true statement, right? So that means we have infinite solutions. And when you get a true statement, we have infinite solutions. Okay, so if we relate this back to graphing, these two equations would be the exact same line. Okay, so here's how you would do it algebraically rather than graphically. Okay, let's look at this example here. 5x minus y equals negative 4, and y equals 5x minus 4. Well, we know y equals 5x minus 4, so I'm going to plug that into y. So write the equation, 5x minus, but instead of writing y, I'm going to write 5x minus 4. Please be very careful here. You need to make sure you put that in parentheses, because this is a negative 1, and we need to distribute that through. Okay? So 5x minus 5x plus 4 equals negative 4. Combine our like terms, 5x minus 5x, oh, that just cancels. We get 4 equals negative 4. Well, 4 definitely does not equal negative 4, so that doesn't make sense at all. So that means no solution. Okay, no solution. So if we are thinking about this graphically, these two lines would be parallel. They're never going to touch. Okay, your turn. Please pause the video and try letter A. Okay, letter A, we know that y equals negative x plus 5, so I'm going to plug that in for y. So x plus, instead of writing y, I'm writing negative x plus 5 equals negative 4. Combine our like terms, x plus negative x, let's just cancel. We get 5 equals negative 4. Obviously that is false, so there is no solution. Okay, please pause the video, try letter B. Okay, letter B, I know y equals negative 2x plus 5, so I'm going to plug that in for y. So 2x plus, instead of writing y, I'm going to write negative 2x plus 5 equals 5. Combine our like terms, 2x plus a negative 2x, let's just cancel. 5 equals 5. which means infinite solutions. Okay. Good morning. All right, one more word problem. So Nate starts a lawn mowing business. In his business, he has expenses and revenue. Nate's expenses are the cost of the lawnmower and the gas, and his revenue is $25 per lawn. At what point will his revenue exceed his expenses? Okay, this is saying, at what point is he actually going to start making money instead of losing money? So first thing we got to do is come up with our variables. Okay, so per lawn, that tells me one of my variables is going to be lawns. So I'm going to call that X. Okay, and we're talking about money, so Y is going to be money. Okay, so notice then we have two different things. We have expenses and revenue. So we need to have one equation for expenses and one equation for revenue. Okay, so let's work on expenses first. Okay, expenses are what I'm spending. Well, I don't know how much I'm spending, so we're going to start with Y equals. So I'm spending gas on $2 per lawn. So that's just going to be 2x. I'm also spending $200 on the lawnmower, so plus 200. Okay, so now we can look at our revenue. Okay, revenue is $25 per lawn. Well, I don't know how much he's making, so that's Y equals. $25 per lawn is 25x. Okay, so there's my equations. Now, I'm going to use substitution to solve. This is a slightly different version of substitution than we've seen before, because both of them are Y equals. Well, since this equals Y, I'm just going to take that and stuff it into the Y here. So 2x plus 200 is equal to 25x. Okay? So we know how to solve these equations. Let's get all of our x's on one side. So I'm going to subtract 2x. $200 is equal to 23x. Get x by itself, we're going to divide. 200 divided by 23 is equal to 8. We'll go 7. Okay, equals x. That means after I do 8.7 lawns, my revenue is going to equal my expenses. Okay, so let's see how much money that actually is. Okay, well, I've got two equations here. I like the bottom one better. It's a little easy to work with. So y equals 25x. But instead of writing x, I'm going to plug in 8.7. So y equals 25 times 8.7. Y equals $217.50. So I mow 8.7 lawns. My revenue equals my expenses. So if he mows 9 lawns or more, he's going to make more money than what he's spending. Okay, he needs to mow at least 9 yards. Okay, a little more, and then we'll be done. So Funtime Amusement Park charges $12.50 for admission and then 75 cents per ride. River's Edge Park charges $18.50 for admission and then 50 cents per ride. For what number of rides is the cost the same at both parks? Okay, well, I know x is going to equal the number of rides, and y is going to equal money. So let's talk about Funtime Amusement Park. We don't know how much we're going to spend there. 75 cents per ride sounds like my slope, so 0.75x plus 12.50. Okay, River's Edge, same kind of thing. Y would equal 0.5x plus 18.50. Okay, now you can do substitution. Well, we know y equals both of these, so I'm just going to set them equal. 75x plus 12.50 equals 50 cents times x plus 18.50. Okay, we're going to get all of our x's on the same side. Okay, so 0.25x plus 12.50 is equal to 18.50. Get all of the constants on one side. 20.25x equals 6. Divide. X equals 24. Okay, so if you ride 24 rides, it's the same cost at each amusement park. Let's find out how much we actually pay. Okay, so y equals, you can use either equation. Y equals 50 cents plus 18.50. Okay, so let's plug in 24. Okay, so y equals 12 plus 1850. Y would equal $30.50. So you ride 24 rides, you're going to spend $30.50 at both amusement parks. So yeah, that's how you do substitution. Okay, substitution is much better than graphing because you're accurate every single time. So here's your homework for tonight. Okay, if you have any questions, please make sure you're asking. Be prepared to go over any and all of these. See you guys later.